The story of Santa Claus begins long ago in a time shrouded in the mists of history. It starts in the 4th century with a man named Nicholas, who would later become one of the most beloved figures in history. Nicholas was born in Patara, a region that is now part of modern-day Turkey. This ancient land was rich in culture and history, a place where legends were born. Nicholas was a wealthy man, but he was also incredibly generous. His wealth did not define him, rather it was his boundless compassion and willingness to help others that made him truly rich. He was known far and wide for his kindness, especially to children. His acts of generosity were not just occasional, they were a way of life for him. Nicholas eventually became a bishop, a high-ranking official in the church. This position allowed him to extend his reach and help even more people. He dedicated his life to helping those in need, tirelessly working to improve the lives of the less fortunate. His actions were guided by a deep sense of duty and love for his fellow man. One of the most famous stories about Nicholas tells of 3 poor sisters. These young women were in a dire situation, unable to marry because they had no money for a dowry. In those times, a dowry was essential for marriage. Without it, the sisters faced a bleak future, possibly even being sold into servitude. A dowry was a sum of money given to the groom's family, a tradition that placed a heavy burden on many families. When Nicholas heard of their plight, he was deeply moved. He knew he had to do something to help these young women. Under the cover of night, he secretly delivered 3 bags of gold to their home, ensuring that each sister would have a dowry and could marry. This act of generosity saved the sisters from a difficult fate and brought them immense relief and joy. Nicholas's kindness left an indelible mark on their lives. Nicholas died around 343 AD, but his legacy of generosity and kindness lived on. He was later declared a saint, and his story has inspired countless acts of kindness and generosity throughout the centuries. Today, we remember him as Santa Claus, a symbol of giving and joy. Over time, the legend of St. Nicholas spread throughout Europe, becoming a beloved figure in many countries. His story was one of generosity, kindness, and miracles, which resonated deeply with people from all walks of life. His story was carried by sailors and travelers who journeyed far and wide, sharing tales of his good deeds and miraculous acts. These stories were passed down through generations, evolving and adapting to local cultures and traditions. It was also spread by those who told and retold his tale by the warmth of the fireplace during the cold winter months. Families would gather to hear about the saint who brought joy and hope to the less fortunate. In the Netherlands, St. Nicholas became known as Sinterklaas, a figure who was eagerly awaited by children every year. The Dutch celebrated his feast day with great enthusiasm and joy. The Dutch celebrated his feast day on December 6th, marking the occasion with festive parades, delicious feasts, and the exchange of gifts. It was a time of merriment and community spirit. Sinterklaas was said to arrive by boat from Spain, a journey that added an air of mystery and excitement to the celebrations. Children would eagerly await his arrival, hoping to catch a glimpse of the beloved saint. He rode a majestic white horse and carried a large book, which was said to contain the names of all the children. This book was a symbol of his wisdom and fairness. In this book were the names of all the children, along with notes on their behavior throughout the year. It was a way to keep track of who had been good and who had been naughty. It told whether they had been naughty or nice, a concept that encouraged children to be on their best behavior in hopes of receiving gifts from Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas delivered gifts to good children, filling their shoes with treats and small presents. This tradition brought immense joy and excitement to the young ones. He was helped by mischievous helpers called Zwarte Pieten, or Black Peters, who added an element of fun and mischief to the celebrations. These helpers were known for their playful antics and colorful costumes. These helpers added an element of fun and mischief to the Sinterklaas celebrations, making the festivities even more lively and entertaining for everyone involved. The Dutch Sinterklaas tradition would later have a significant influence on the American Santa Claus, shaping the way we celebrate Christmas today. The spirit of generosity and joy that St. Nicholas embodied continues to inspire holiday traditions around the world. Meanwhile, in England, a different Christmas figure emerged. This figure was known as Father Christmas. Father Christmas was a jolly and festive figure. He personified the spirit of Christmas cheer. Father Christmas was often depicted wearing a long green robe. He carried a wreath of holly and ivy. Father Christmas was associated with feasting and merrymaking. He was a symbol of the abundance and generosity of the Christmas season. Over time, the traditions of Father Christmas and St. Nicholas would begin to blend. This fusion would eventually lead to the modern Santa Claus. European immigrants brought their Christmas traditions with them to America. The Dutch settlers in New Amsterdam, later New York City, continued to celebrate Sinterklaas. However, the English name Santa Claus gradually became more popular. This transition happened during the 19th century. Washington Irving, a famous American author, played a role in popularizing Santa Claus. In his 1809 book, Knickerbocker's History of New York, Irving described St. Nicholas as the patron saint of the city. Irving's depiction helped to create a uniquely American version of the Santa Claus legend. Section 5. The making of an icon. Santa's image takes shape. The 19th century saw a significant shift in the image of Santa Claus. He transformed from a religious figure into a more secular or non-religious symbol of Christmas cheer. Several factors contributed to this transformation. The growing popularity of Christmas cards in the mid-1800s helped to solidify Santa's image. Artists began depicting him in a red suit with white fur trim. This image was further popularized by the illustrations of Thomas Nast. Nast was a cartoonist for Harper's Weekly, a popular magazine. Beginning in the 1860s, Nast's illustrations helped to create the iconic image of Santa that we know today, a jolly bearded man with a twinkle in his eye. Section 6. A red suit and a coat. The influence of advertising. By the early 20th century, Santa Claus was a well-established figure in American culture. He was a symbol of joy, generosity, and the magic of Christmas. However, his appearance varied widely, with different regions and artists depicting him in various ways. Some showed him as a tall, gaunt figure, while others portrayed him as a jolly, plump man. His attire also ranged from bishop's robes to fur-lined suits in a variety of colors. However, his image was still evolving. The Santa Claus we recognize today with his red suit and white fur trim was not yet a universal standard. This evolution was significantly influenced by various cultural and commercial factors over the years. In 1931, the Coca-Cola Company launched an advertising campaign that would have a lasting impact on Santa Claus. This campaign was part of a broader strategy to increase sales during the winter months, a time when soft drink consumption typically declined. They hired an illustrator named Haddon Sundblom to create images of Santa Claus enjoying Coca-Cola. Sundblom was known for his ability to create warm, inviting characters, and he set out to craft a Santa that would appeal to both children and adults. Sundblom's illustrations depicted Santa in a red suit with white fur trim, a departure from earlier depictions that showed him in a variety of colors. This red-suited Santa was not only visually striking, but also aligned perfectly with Coca-Cola's brand colors, making the advertisements even more memorable. The Coca-Cola Santa was jolly, approachable, and instantly recognizable. Sundblom's Santa had a twinkle in his eye, rosy cheeks, and a warm smile, embodying the spirit of Christmas in a way that resonated deeply with the public. The campaign was a huge success. It not only boosted Coca-Cola's winter sales, but also played a crucial role in shaping the modern image of Santa Claus. The advertisements were widely circulated, appearing in magazines, newspapers, and on billboards across the country. It helped to cement the image of Santa Claus in the minds of millions of Americans. The red-suited, jolly Santa became synonymous with Christmas, and Coca-Cola's portrayal of him became the standard. The Coca-Cola Santa, with his red suit and rosy cheeks, became the definitive image of Santa Claus for generations to come. This image has endured through the decades, becoming an integral part of Christmas celebrations around the world, illustrating the profound influence of advertising on cultural traditions. Section 7. Santa's Workshop, Elves, Reindeer, and the North Pole. As Santa Claus evolved, so too did the stories surrounding him. He acquired a workshop at the North Pole where he made toys with the help of elves. The elves were originally mischievous creatures from Scandinavian folklore, but they were transformed into Santa's cheerful helpers in American Christmas lore. Santa also gained a team of flying reindeer, Led by Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, they pulled his sleigh through the night sky, delivering presents to children around the world. These additions to the Santa Claus myth added to his magical aura. They also provided endless fodder for children's imaginations. Section 8: Global Santa Variations on a Theme. While the American image of Santa Claus has become widely recognized, there are variations on the Santa Claus theme around the world. In Finland, Santa Claus is known as Joulupukki, which translates to Christmas goat. In Russia, Ded Moroz, or Grandfather Frost, delivers gifts on New Year's Eve with his granddaughter Snegurochka, the snow maiden. In many European countries, St. Nicholas still plays a prominent role in Christmas celebrations. These variations demonstrate the adaptability of the Santa Claus myth. He is a figure who can be molded and shaped to fit different cultures and traditions. Section 9: The Enduring Spirit of Santa Claus. From his humble beginnings as a 4th century bishop, Santa Claus has undergone a remarkable transformation. He has evolved from a religious figure into a secular symbol of Christmas cheer. His image has been shaped by folklore, advertising, and the imaginations of countless people around the world. Despite these changes, the essence of Santa Claus remains the same. He embodies the spirit of generosity, kindness, and the joy of giving during the holiday season, and it is this spirit that continues to resonate with people of all ages and cultures.